types of operating system. Now there are different types of operating systems which require different types of hardware to run upon. So first of all, single user operating system. So single user means only one user can use this system. Got it? Only one user can be supported by it at any point of time. So there are two categories again for this OS: single task operating system and single user multitasking operating system. Single task means one user can execute one task or run one application at a time. Okay, it can use only one software at a time. So we can see OS for mobiles, you know very well, we can use only one application in mobiles at a time. Then MS-DOS is also there. Okay, this Microsoft Disk Operating System. MS-DOS is actually command user interface. Command user interface means in this we have to type command to execute something, to do something. Okay, means we have to tell by command so that operating system can do something, that particular task. Okay, now single user means one user will be there, but multitasking operating system means so many tasks can run at a time. So this OS supports one user but can deal with multiple applications running at a time, like simultaneously running Word document. Okay, you can prepare 2 or more documents at a time. Then you can even watch video in between. Then you can start internet browsing also. Then you can listen to music also, like if you are preparing a project, then you will be using so many applications together. So examples of this type of operating system is Windows Vista, Windows 7, 8, Linux, Mac OS, Leopard, etc. Now multi-program OS. Multi-program means multi-user. Okay, means many programs can run together. That means multiple users can use the operating system. So it supports multi-programming. That means more than one user can be supported by it. More than one user programs are loaded and active in the main store at the same time. Got it? So many users can start the programs, then they will be active in the main store at the same time. So these active programs are executed using some techniques one by one. Okay, scheduling will be done, jobs will be set. Okay, then according to that operating system will execute the program. Okay, all these active programs. So example is Unix, Linux, IBM, AS400, etc. Now time sharing. Time sharing operating system, it uses time sharing technique. Each active user program is given a fair share of CPU time. If the time elapses, got it? Every user will be given, every active user will be given a specific time, fair share of CPU time. And if the time elapses, okay, if the user run out of the time, then any input output operation is requested, then CPU shift over to the next job waiting and the previous program is put to wait. Got it? So what happens here, the fair share of CPU time is given for every operation or every job, and if the time elapses, then that job will be kept on wait and the next job will start or handed over to input output manager in case input output request is made. Okay, if any of the input output request is there, that means if we are inserting any detail from the input devices or if we have to see any detail on the output device, then that will be done. Now active programs are scheduled for execution using certain job scheduling technique. Okay, so obviously some operating system is using some scheduling technique, job scheduling technique, so that it can give a fair share of time to every job of active programs. Now the next is examples are BSD Unix, NOS, then Jenny, etc. Now real-time operating system. In real time, the jobs have fixed deadlines and the jobs have to be completed within their deadlines. Got it? The job will be having a fixed deadline and we have to finish the job in that particular deadline only. So the system performance is measured by its ability to complete its job. Okay, so if the operating system has the capacity to complete the job, okay, then means in a given number of time, okay, or a fixed deadline, then its performance will be identified. Now operating example is Linux OS, OSE, RT Linux, etc. Now multiprocessing operating system. Multiprocessing is capable of handling more than one processors, as the jobs have to be executed one on more than one processor. Got it? So there will be more than one processor and the jobs will execute on different processors. The multiprocessing should be capable of load sharing in case of identical processors. Okay, if the processes are identical, then the load sharing will be there. Okay, means one at a time, two or more processors can work together, so that system's efficiency improves. Got it? So that particular process can be executed fast. Now in case of unidentical processors, the multiprocessing OS should be able to control the super, means main processor. Got it? If the processors are different, the multiprocessing OS means the multiprocessing operating system should be able to control the main processor, the first one, the main processor, okay, like, and in turn control the work of slave processors, and then it will control other processors. Okay, like in every processor, one processor will be the main processor. Okay, like you might have heard about client server computer. In client server, the server is the main computer and the clients are actually the host, or we can say workstations or nodes connected to the main server. Okay, so those servers will be the slave processors, means those client computers will be slave processors and the main computer will be the super processor. So here the examples are Unix, Linux, Windows NT, etc. CPU is generally termed as processor. Here wherever the processor means different many CPUs. Okay, so here the processor, different processors are there, and here more than one processors, and here in load sharing in case of identical processors. Okay, means same CPU. Now distributed operating system. This is the last type of operating system. This type of operating system is designed to share its workload over multiple servers. Got it? Now here there are so many servers. Got it? Now mostly at multiple locations. Okay, you might have heard about WAN. WAN, you know very well, is combination of many LANs and MANs. Okay, so what is LAN? LAN we can consider a small client server compute network, and then if so many LANs are connected together, then it forms WAN. Okay, so that means many servers are connected on different locations. So thus a distributed OS has a decentralized architecture. Okay, decentralized, that means not a single PC is centralized here. A distributed OS share data and resources among its multiple server. Got it? Now the distributed operating system will share whatever resources are there, it will share it on all those servers which are interconnected to get maximum efficiency. Most reservation systems use distributed OS. Wherever there is reservation systems, they are using distributed operating system. So Unix, Linux, DCE, Xopen are the examples of distributed operating system. Now the above types of operating systems, that means that we discussed just now, are based on how operating system handles different jobs. Okay, whatever 6 types of operating system I told you just now, they all work on like how operating system is handling all these jobs internally based on their processing methods. Okay, like how many processors are there or how many processes are executed, identical or different, and so on. Now on the basis of human interaction, okay, according to us, there are two types of operating systems. Let's see. Operating system based on types of interfaces, okay, according to our compatibility, how we are using the operating system. Now an operating system works as per instructions of a user. You know very well, computer cannot work automatically. We have to make computer to execute some task. So we have to give instruction to operating system so that it can perform a task. The way in which user communicate, different ways we can communicate. Click by mouse pointer, or we can type some command or something like that. Now there are some operating systems in which there are no icons, nothing, then still we are able to use those operating systems. Okay, so here the way in which user communicate with the computer is known as interface. Okay, different ways we can communicate with the PC. Then two types of operating system interfaces are command line interface, interactive operating system interface.